Hi, so this is a quick summary of our latest release. We have a bunch of improvements ready for you, so let's dive right in. I'll talk about our new embeddable widget, which is the automation hub you can see right now. We also have a new design for our logs. And we have made a lot of improvements around the wizard editor, and we also have a bunch of other minor improvements and visual improvements in our editor. So let's dive right in. First, and our biggest update is this new automation hub. It's a completely new embeddable widget, and it's a one-stop shop for all your automation needs for your users. So as you can see, you'll have automations presented as tiles. And of course, you can just start them by clicking on them and enter the wizard. But we have added some extra level of customization. And the new thing is that you can allow your users to customize these pre-built automation templates. So they'll be able to do that by clicking Customize in Editor. And when they do that, they'll be taken inside the editor and see the full node structure of anything that you have pre-built for them. So you can choose to allow your users to customize automations like this. So that's the first level of customization. We've added a second level, and that's allowing your users to completely build from scratch using this Create My Own button. So you can choose if you want to present only with completely pre-built templates that they just activate through the wizard and fill in the last missing bits in the required fields. Or you can allow them to customize, where they'll see the nodes, or you can allow them to build completely from scratch. And once you have active automations, they'll show up right here. And another new update is that you can make changes. So when you have an active automation and you see this one is running, you can click Edit, which is essentially going to create a draft where you can make your changes and then choose to publish them or cancel the editing process. The Automation Hub is organized into 3 tabs. So you can organize your workflows here, where you'll see available and running automations. You can easily also define categories and show them in tabs filtered for your end users. And you can customize those in the Appmixer Studio, and I'll show that in just a bit. And your users can also easily see the logs on this tab for their automation. So they'll select it here and see everything load up, and they'll also be able to manage their connections in this tab. Now, of course, as all of our widgets and interfaces, this Automation Hub is customizable, and we'll check out how can you do that. So in the Appmixer Studio, if you go into Automation Hub settings, you'll see an overview of all the customizable settings for the Automation Hub. So you can customize and disable or enable headers and subheaders, the connection and log button that I've shown. You can choose the default layout and enable or disable customization. So allowing your users to customize the pre-built automations and allow them to create from scratch. Here's an interface for organizing the tabs. So you can define categories for templates and then define the tabs and their source templates right here. Moving on to the visual customizations, there's all the theme options gathered right here in this place. And once you customize all the options for your Automation Hub, you can easily open a preview by clicking the Open Preview button. We've added also sharing for the hub for users who are not using the Appmixer Studio. And so if you want to share your hub, you can click this button and you'll have a share link in your clip bar. Before you share that link, be sure to add users into this allow list for the shareable link. That's just a security layer so that anyone with the link who is on the allow list can sign up for the Automation Hub and enable their automations and deploy them live so that you can share that with your team. Maybe if you're building and evaluating how you want to implement your Automation Hub and you want to easily share that within your team without them having to sign up for the Appmixer Studio. All right, moving on. Once the Automation Hub is live, you might want to monitor the health and statistics. And for that, we've built the new analytics page, which shows you an overview of the most important metrics. It also shows adoption, most popular templates, most active templates, and success rate as well. We've also reorganized our menu a bit so that it's easier to navigate. So now we have one build space where you go to either build automation templates or flow. So looking at the templates and how they're built and how you can adjust the wizard, we have a bunch of improvements around that. So whenever you're adding fields into your template wizard, we've improved how you can do that. It's now also more visually clear. So we have these checkboxes add to template, which you can just easily use to add a field into a template. Now let's look at more improvements around wizard building. So if we go into Edit Wizard and pick any field, we've added some customization options. So along with defining your custom tooltip, you can also define your custom placeholder text. And we've added some options here in the advanced options section. So you can choose to completely hide the tooltip for a field. You can choose to disable variables. That means your users will not be able to add variables in that given field. We've also added a restrict variables feature. where you can define from which component in that given flow users will be able to pick variables. So if you want to simplify the list of variables for your end users, this is the way to go. And you can just pick a specific component inside your flow that you want to allow variable picking from. The last one for simplifying things for your end users is disabling modifiers. So if you don't want your users to modify the data, you can choose to disable that. The wizard builder is now also easier to work with, so you can just drag and drop the fields here to change their order. Now, one more important update about wizard building is for account fields. You can choose this new option, share account with all template users, and that allows you to essentially share your credentials for that specific component with your end users so that they don't have to connect their own account. So maybe you have a database account or an AI account that you want to share with your end users. You can do that with the share account with template users option. So that's it for the wizard builder improvement. So another new major improvement in our latest release is the reworked logs. So see them right here. You can clearly see which component produced what kind of data, and you can click to see the details. So you'll see the input and output. You can switch between the different components inside your flow to see the input and output and search into data, and also switch between tree and JSON view. You'll be able to browse different executions if you have more of those. And you can also do that from here. So this is the last execution that has run. And you can open this dialog to search for more executions, use data, timestamps, anything to look up a specific execution. One more important update I want to share is we've introduced workspaces. So you can now use our API to define different user groups or workspaces. And these are groups of your end users who just share all the resources and can edit them with the same access rights, allowing you to create teams or workspaces easily within your embedded interfaces with Appmixer. So I hope you liked the latest lineup of our updates. And to close out this video, I'll just show a quick sneak peek of what we're working on next. So our major new update will be the AI Copilot, where you can just type in what kind of flow you want to have built, and it's going to build that for you, and you can use it to also make changes to your flow. Within the flow designer, we'll also add testing. And then when you have an active flow that's running, we'll add updates. So that means whenever you want to edit a running flow, it's going to create a draft that you can test or close, and then you can choose to publish the changes to that running flow. Along with that, we'll also have a built-in versioning system where you'll see active and draft versions, and also any previous versions you might have. And if you want to restore that, you can do that, as well as create versions manually. So that's a quick summary of what we're working on next: AI Copilot, testing, versioning, and a lot of other great improvements. So that's it for today's update for Appmixer, and I'll see you in the next one.